Hello everybody, my name is Jason, and today I'm gonna yap about Paralives again. It's been a month since my last video about Paralives, where I only introduced the game and why I think it's a great game to support, and I'll link that video in the description if you haven't seen it yet. But since I've made that last video, there have been a few updates that the team have made to the game, and I wanted to share those and my thoughts with y'all. I'm honestly so excited for this game, and the closer it gets to the release date, the more I just can't sit still. I want to call this cabin fever almost, because it's the closest feeling I can explain. But I don't know, I haven't felt this excited for a game in years, and every new update to this game is kind of making me lose my mind. Also, as a little refresher, this game will still be in early access when it releases in May. According to their development page on their website, the Paralives team has been working on fixing a lot of bugs since the delay, and I would have still played the game as it was, to be honest, but I can understand how some of these bugs could turn potential players away from the game, especially in that live mode demonstration where you could see a bunch of NPCs clipping through doors and each other. I'm very glad they're fixing that. But I also want to show you guys the updates that the Paralives team has given us regarding to how genetics work, how the want system works, how parts of the map look, and the most recent speed build. And I'm just gonna go in order of how these were made public. So the first one is a Patreon post showing how the genetics in the game work. And I'm not gonna read all of the post. I will have this post and all the other posts that I'm talking about in the video linked below if you guys want a closer look. But this one was made public January 8th, and the first one that they talk about is they made the facial features basically be randomly chosen from each parent. I think that makes the most sense to do, honestly, especially in a game where every little detail is customizable. That way the characters look more realistic and actually related to their parents. And as they say here, there won't be any extreme results. Like, you can see these kids have their mom's nose and their dad's eye shape. It's very cute. And the second one that they talk about is the height and how it's mostly up to chance. So from what I understand from reading this is that if one parent is considered tall, then their child will also be tall, but the exact height of what that tall looks like is randomized. And I think that's really interesting. Possibly the best way to handle height in a game, if you ask me, but like that way the child isn't the exact height as their parents. But I don't know, I'm really curious to see how that works exactly. They do give an example of how this older brother is taller than both parents and his sibling, but I've never seen a game mess with character height before, so I feel like this could be a very great mechanic in theory. I do worry about any bugs we might see when it comes to height. Like, the one thing that comes to mind is, will a really tall para clip through the doors? And what I mean by that, like, just to take from real life, my uncle is 6'9". He's very tall, and most doorways in real life are a very standardized height, so he always has to like duck under door frames to avoid hitting his head. And that just brings me to my point, will the paras also hit their head? Will they clip through like the top part of a doorway? Like, I saw that the windows in the build mode are very customizable in size and height and all that, so I do wonder if the doorways are like that as well. And if they are, will that affect how tall paras walk through them? Like, I know nothing about coding, so I have no clue how the team would even begin to figure that out, but I feel like it's definitely something that needs to possibly be addressed. So like, okay, let's say that the para's height is cut off at a certain number and all the doorways are taller than that, then that's fine. Disregard everything I said. There's no problem. But if there is a chance that a really tall para could hit their head in a doorway. I would love to see how that could potentially be implemented, where we see little animations of them like ducking their head or like accidentally hitting their head. I think that'd be fun. I don't know. I really have no idea how the doorways work in the game yet, so it's just something to think about. And the next point, which I think is really neat, is that the last part of their genetic system is actually pretty much based in real life, where the eye color, skin color, hair color, and texture, freckles, etc. are, like they say, like dominant and recessive genes. So this is very like real life. I don't know if you guys remember having to do Punnett squares in high school biology class, but that's what this reminds me of. So like a real world example is that light colored eyes are a recessive gene. So for a child to have light eyes, one or both parents also need to have light colored eyes. And they explain more about how that works. I'm not a geneticist. This is just my basic understanding from back when I was in high school biology class. That was like a decade ago, okay? I've slept since then. So they probably do a better job of explaining it than I do. Like I said, I'll link this down below if y'all want a better look at this, but I think this is a very fun way to do genetics in this game, and I'm very impressed that they're able to code this into the game. Like I said, I know nothing about coding, so I assume it's very hard to do. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out in the game and in the gameplay. I think this will be fun. Now on to the next public post. The Paralives team posted a video on January 22nd showing how the para's mood affects their wants. I'm just gonna let it play and talk over it. But basically they see like the para is sad. There's a bunch of different options to choose from. So I guess like these are the wants that they have because they're sad. They want to do this to like help lighten the mood. I would also watch TV for 2 hours. But these are great options. Spend 2 hours outside. Level up food knowledge. I wonder if that one is based off of like their personality, which we'll see later in this video. But from basically what they're telling us is that basically choosing these wants and doing them levels up their personality. It gives you experience points, I think they said, which I think is really neat. So they're able to level up their personality, and you can see there's different pieces of the personality and like all these unlocked pieces, and I think that's what you unlock with each level and experience point, from what I understand. But it's the most important part of live mode, so I think this is really a unique way to like do this, because there's only like certain ones that you can select, and then there's different ways you can upgrade it from what I understand. So it can be different no matter how many times you play, which I think is really unique. Even if you make all the paras like have the same vibe, social perk, and talent, I think they call it, like you can still have a very unique gameplay by choosing different upgrades, and I think that's very like unique, and I'm very curious to see all the customizable options they already have for each of these personality categories. I think even if there's not a lot to choose from at the start of the game, that would like you can still add to this like with upgrades and still have like a very unique gameplay no matter how many times you play at the start, which I think is really fun. And I think they say they're working on upgrades and improving them, and I wonder if there's also going to be in any future updates any more that you can like select at the start like of these. So that's going to be really fun. I think this is a very unique way to like show that. I don't know how else to explain it, but it is a very important gameplay mechanic, and I'm very curious to see. I think it will make actually playing this game really fun, and to see like how this affects my para based on their personality. I think that's gonna be so unique, so fun. This brings us to the next post that they have. It's another Patreon post that was made public on January 29th. And like before, I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to show the highlights. They show a little bit of the mountains and the countryside. So they mention things like hiking trails, which I see a little one right there. There's some train tracks. I think this might be a walkable path here too. I'm not gonna lie, this all looks amazing. I think they even talk about how you can see the ocean and the city from this little nook right here, which I think is part of the hiking trails they mention. And like this little plot of land at the bottom of the mountain, that's perfect for me. I love building, even though I'm bad at it, I love building. So I'm gonna make some very unique creations on this lot probably. But I don't know, this just leads me to some questions, because this looks like it's gonna be a very large open world, and I'm very curious if I'm able to walk to the city from this lot. Like, how far away is it? Do I need public transportation? Is there public transportation? Are there cars? I don't actually know if that's gonna be something that they implement. I don't know if my character can walk all the way from the mountain to the country to the city. Like, I don't know how close these are together, but it seems like it's gonna be like a lot larger of like an open world, which I'm looking forward to like exploring. I love exploring in games. Also, they teased this last photo, like saying, oh, what's in the bottom right corner of this image? And it looks like a castle battlement. I think that's what those are called. Those little fun little shape things on the top of like castle walls and turrets. And that makes me think, is there a castle? Is it a livable castle? Okay, what I mean by that, like livable castle, is that sometimes nowadays there's castles and estates that were turned into museums where no one lives in them, and the public can tour them. They look how when people live there to like kind of give more of a glimpse of the history. So I don't know. I'm very curious if I can live in a castle in this game, and if not, I mean, it's still nice to dream. I know they tease like a museum and a community center in this game, so I wonder if it is actually the museum. But I think that's really neat. I'm just very curious to see like the whole map, and I can see based on like this image that this is the bottom of the mountain. That's that earlier plot that we saw, and I think that's like the countryside over there. So I'm like, the countryside is literally next to the mountain. It's in the valley. So I'm very curious how close the city is. Can I walk there? There's not like a sidewalk, but can I just walk there? Please. Okay, now for the last public video that shows a speed build of the clothing store. I think the speed build is fun, but I'm not gonna show the whole video. It's a longer one. I just wanna show off this little mechanic at the end because I think it's very important. Like, you watch the para purchase an outfit and then they wear it. I think that is a fun mechanic, and it reminds me so much of Animal Crossing. I hate to say it, but it reminds me of Animal Crossing. I want to go back a little bit just to see what the choices are. Okay, so it says I can purchase the outfit. Okay, I have a little problem with this. I think it would be really neat to be able to purchase the outfit on the mannequins, but also have an option to buy it versus buy and wear now. Because I mean, just like in Animal Crossing, you have those options to buy versus buy and wear now, and I'm gonna be honest, I never wear now because I always choose my outfit for the day and I don't want to mess it up. So I think that would be a very nice thing to like be able to choose between buying and wearing. But I think it's a good mechanic. I like the mechanic so far. But just like the rest of these posts, I have some questions. Who chooses the outfits? Do you have to work in the store to choose an outfit, or can anyone put an outfit on the mannequin? I mean, I think the best option would be for a para that works there gets to dress the mannequins, which, like, you're not gonna walk into a store in real life and just start dressing up the mannequins. Like, it's more realistic that way, right? But that would mean I can't dress them up myself unless I work there, which, again, part of me is totally okay with that, but the other part of me sees a little bit of a problem. Just like in real life, I have no reason to go into a store that doesn't carry clothes that I want to wear. Let me explain. I think these outfits are very cute. I actually have this dress, just a different color, a very similar dress. I think it's a little shorter actually, but I have a very similar dress in real life. I think it's cute. My main issue is the lack of alternative clothing. I understand that the team is trying to make a game meant for everyone, so they're gonna have a clothing style that are more popular at the start of the game. But from all that I've seen so far, the only nod to alternative culture is colorful hair and face piercings, which are really cool, but that's not necessarily alternative, I guess. And like, I do like that the game is implementing a color wheel, so like I can choose any of these and make them like a whole black outfit that looks exactly like this. I think that's great, but that doesn't mean that it would, look good or alternative. For example, goth clothing isn't just about the color, it's more so about texture and layering of textures. That's why you see pants with like a million zippers on them, or 3 different skirts layered on top of each other. You can wear color and still be considered goth, but I'm not here for like a history or fashion lesson. I just really hope that there are clothing items that I can choose at the start that are more alternative in style. And I'm gonna be honest, I lean more towards an alternative style, even though in the winter time I live in hoodies when it's cold. But I usually, when I do dress up and when it's warmer, I do wear a lot more like considered alternative fashion. So I don't know, and I just haven't even seen like a para with ripped skinny jeans at all. And if I have, editing me will put it on screen. But I don't know, I just really hope that I can choose clothes, and even if they don't have these clothing options at the start, it's not that much of a deal. I just hope the Paralives team will add those options in future updates, because like I said, I totally understand they're trying to appeal to a very wide audience. They're gonna have stuff that's more popular at the start, which is why I don't want to judge too much yet. But like, that's because none of us have any clue what's gonna be added and like what styles there are until we have access to this game. So I'm still excited for this game. I can't wait to play it. I will love to see alternative clothing in the future if it's not added. Hi, editor me here. As I was looking for a para that had ripped skinny jeans, which I did find them in the live mode demonstration, so there are ripped skinny jeans in this game. I just rarely see them. I saw that the Paralives team posted this video titled 1 Para 5 Styles, so I just wanted to quickly react to that for you guys. Already, I see that this para has like these cute little piercings. I have something very similar higher up on my ear, so I wonder how customizable these piercings are. Like, can I choose where on the ear these go? I love this outfit. It's very cute. The turtleneck, the layering. I like that you can layer clothes already. So I'm just gonna play so we can see all these styles. Okay, already an alternative para. I love it. I love all these piercings. I love the like little purple eyeshadow underneath. That's so cute. I love the hairstyle, and there's more piercings. I'm obsessed. That's where my piercing is, up here, where I said it was similar to the other one. that they had over here, but I still wonder how customizable these are. This is so cute. I will say this is still just a very plain black t-shirt and a leather jacket, so I wonder if there's other alternative clothing. But I love... Stop. Is that a mushroom hat? Stop. That is so cute. I love this. That is... Okay, this makes me happy. This gives me hope. I would say alternative fashion is just anything that's not popular, and I would say anything whimsical, like a mushroom hat, or like anything fairy whimsical stuff, I would say that's alternative. So this gives me hope. Oh my gosh, this gives me hope that there are possibly other styles in this game. We have a whimsical character. I love it. I love the like e-girl blush going on. It's super cute with like the little freckles to match the mushroom hat and like the polka dots on the outfit. This is adorable. I love this. But oh my gosh, this gives me hope. So maybe there are like alternative fashion styles in this game, but they just haven't shown us yet. So I'm excited to play this game now. But okay, let's look at the other styles. Oh, I love those glasses. Those are so cute. Also, I noticed that you can add like little sparkles in their eyes. I love that. I also love like the ombre and the hair. This is so cute. The eyeshadow is precious. I love the little details that they have of like the little hearts on the eyes. So they have a lot, like a wide range of styles already in this game, which again, this gives me hope. I'm excited to play this now. Okay, back to the other me. Was that the last one? Yeah, okay, back to the other me. And with that, these are the updates that we have so far. And I want to know what you guys think. Please comment down below your thoughts on what you've seen so far of this game. Would you play this game? I'm also planning on making videos about any updates the team may give us between now and the release date, so please subscribe if you want to follow along with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.